What up, dude? And welcome to the Kurt Steele Podcast, your trusted source for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Today, John Maakaron, publisher of All Lions Fan Nation, Sports Illustrated, Detroit Lions team channel, and founder of the Detroit Sports Podcast, is back to talk about players the Lions may target in positions of need in the first round of the NFL draft. John, how have you been doing since our last conversation?
Love it, man. Now we're in full swing. It's time to look at the draft, how the Detroit Lions can potentially upgrade from a 9-8 season. It's the best time of year. Why? Mock drafts, speculation, rumors, looking at how the Detroit Lions could improve. It's the best time of year. I love it.
All right. Now, last time we talked, I just want to get your thoughts on this real quick. You said the Lions should take a cornerback and a defensive tackle as positions of needs in the first round of the upcoming draft. Do you still share that feeling that they should take a cornerback and a defensive tackle in that first round?
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the Detroit Lions and you see where this team can get so much better, and it's on the defensive side of the ball. You look at that offense with Ben Johnson returning. You have great talent. You have a veteran quarterback in Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, potentially a solid running game with that offensive line. So you need to improve that defense. And every time you even mention online, hey, maybe the Lions could target a wide receiver, maybe somebody that's on the last year of a deal from another team, everybody looks at you cross-eyed and is like, wait a minute, this team needs defense. So I get it 100%. But that's why this time of year is great, because we can open up discussion for the offensive side. I mean, Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network put out a mock draft, and he has Anthony Richardson there with the Lions at number 18. So that talk is not going away. You're going to hear more names pop up too. What if Will Levis at the combine just lights it up, impresses everybody, and has an opportunity to showcase what he's about? You still see the opportunity for other top offensive names to make waves. But for me, it's all about the defense. I would love it. In fact, if I'm Brad Holmes and I'm sitting there and I'm going to advise him, I'm like, let's take some of the additional capital and get back in the first round again, maybe even get 3 defenders. Take one player in the first round at every position, 1 linebacker, 1 cornerback, 1 defensive tackle, and let's go. Let's see what you can do. So I'm all about being aggressive. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I think the Lions should still target defense in the first round. No doubt about it.
All right. Now, you just talked about Daniel Jeremiah. Then there's been a few mock draft from outlets that said the Lions will take a defensive lineman and a cornerback. They've mocked a D end or a defensive tackle to the Lions and a cornerback. What players, because I've kind of asked you this kind of offline, what players would you like to see the Lions take in the first night of the draft if they don't trade back? So we're talking at 6 and 18. I won't even give you a particular order, but 2 players that stand out to you at those 2 positions that you think the Lions should take that first night of the draft.
Yeah, I see a lot of good players that potentially could fit, but a lot of people that are looking at first-round talent and who potentially will have great success. I think at the cornerback spot, you're going to have to target Devin Witherspoon, the likes of Christian Gonzalez or Joey Porter, players that are ready-made. And guys, pay attention. What is the trait that the Detroit Lions are going to look for from a cornerback? Strong tacklers, great awareness, the ability to adapt to different positions at the same time, maybe sometimes on the inside, sometimes on the outside, maybe even a couple reps at nickel. They don't want to lock in on a one-dimensional type player. So I look at the cornerbacks, and if Devin Witherspoon is sitting there at number 6, I think he's the odds-on favorite right now, obviously, because you saw what Kirby Joseph was able to do coming from that program. They have comfort potentially with that, but at the same time, Christian Gonzalez has put up some good tape as well from Oregon. Joey Porter Jr., I think if he's there potentially at number 18, would be somebody that's targeted. I'm curious to see if the Lions would invest the number 6 pick in a corner because of what's happened in the past, knowing how long it takes to develop these young cornerbacks. But those are the top end cornerbacks. I think in the interior of the defensive line, guys, look at girth. Big guys like Miles Murphy, Tyree Wilson, Brian Brise. You're going to want girth along the interior of the defensive line. Man, boy, wouldn't it be interesting, though, if for some reason the likes of a Jalen Carter or Will Anderson do fall, I think that would make everybody happy. I don't think that, from what I'm hearing, I don't think the Lions are going to trade up and be aggressive from number 6. There's so much talent the Lions could get at that spot. But with the number 6 spot, you're seeing a lot of Miles Murphy, a lot of Breeze, lots of potential if Jalen Carter does fall, maybe there. But I think that when you look at what the Lions are looking for, they need somebody to clog the middle of that defensive line, because what was their big issue in games where they struggled? They just at times had a problem stopping the run. So you need girth, you need size, you need somebody that potentially can play alongside Aleem McNeil and help out the edges. I don't see potentially a pure edge rusher maybe being targeted, because you got 2 of them. You got Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston that potentially are going to lock up a lot of reps. And I'm seeing potentially just interior defensive linemen being looked at by the Lions. Somebody that can clog the middle, be a potential pass rusher as well, someone that can be disruptive. And I think, for me, I would probably at this stage look at defensive lineman first and cornerback maybe with the number 18 pick, a defensive back, because there's so much depth as well. If you even target Trenton Simpson at a different position at linebacker, maybe you can even go deeper into the draft and target some names that maybe you find appealing later on, because you did see that the Lions have in the past taken Ifeatu Melifonwu, Kirby Joseph in later rounds. So pay attention as we get closer to the scouting combine and what takes place. I think at this time, taking a corner at number 6 is just a little high, because it takes time to develop. I think you can get more of a ready-made guy, ready-made interior defensive lineman, ready to step out day one. And you've seen early on that the Lions are potentially willing to build in the trenches.
Hey, we're talking to John Maakaron from All Lions Fan Nation from Sports Illustrated right here on the Kurt Steele Podcast, your trusted source for Detroit Lions news and rumors. John, tell my audience how they can find your content.
Yeah, absolutely. Detroit Sports Podcast. Anywhere that you find your great audio content, just type in Detroit Sports Podcast and our content will find you. Hit that subscribe button. Online, make sure you hit us up on Twitter at Detroit Podcast, throwing out our daily opinions, articles, and for daily Lions coverage, it's si.com/NFL/Lions. The site's called All Lions, affiliated with Fan Nation and Sports Illustrated, covering the Detroit Lions there at the facility, being part in the mix of the media. And we're doing it all in the digital space as well. Podcasts, video content, interviews, news, anything in regards to the Detroit Lions, we're trying to be all about it. And it's fun. Even though I know, we are an online site, we even do speculation. We try to look at it all. If it involves the Detroit Lions, we're all about it. It doesn't have to be strictly, hey, this is what they're doing. We'll speculate. We'll say, hey, maybe the Detroit Lions could be aggressive. What if they trade up, trade down? Any variety of ways that we can dissect the Detroit Lions, that's what we do at All Lions. And it makes it for fun to talk to you and others that are in the space, because there's so many different opinions. I mean, you've seen it. You got some people that are like, quarterback? Absolutely not. You got some that are saying, well, maybe even trade up for a quarterback. I love it all. I don't dismiss any opinion. It's all part of the fun sports banner that makes sports fun. And I don't mind if some people even throw out some outlandish ideas. It makes it for a fun landscape to be a part of. And I just enjoy being part of the mix.
Yes, thank you again, John. Hey, you guys know what to do. You can check me out right here on kurtsteele.com. Check out my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter at CurtisSteele14. This is Kurt Steele, and I will holla at you real soon.